Hello, everybody. It's great to be here. My name is Angela Bell, and I am here with author Sarah Hanna to celebrate the release of her new book, Reflections, an inspirational journal for looking within. So today's a big day for you, and I'm very excited to have you here, Sarah. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much for having me and putting this together. I truly appreciate it.
Amazing. So I know we were talking about this before we hopped on the video here, but how are you feeling today? Your book is out. I mean, I know you've been working on this for a while.
Yeah, I'm excited. Excited. I think all of the emotions. Excited, nervous, anticipating the actual physical copy in my hand. Seeing it in ebook form is wonderful, but just feeling, especially since it's a journal, and it's going to be one of those things that's tangible that you want to hold in your hand. Just getting that. I'm excited about that, and then just sharing this with the community.
Amazing. So, Sarah, can you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to write this particular book?
I've been wanting to write something for ages, and I've always had a ton of different ideas. But when I was in India last year, I was in the Himalayas and meditating on the river. I know it sounds cheesy and romantic, um, but I was meditating, and and also I think there was a Swami Guru that we had met at one point where he was talking about how everything that you need is within you. We're always kind of looking for outside sources for validation or for happiness or joy or whatever it is, but everything that you need is within you. So I think in being around him, being around that energy, being in that beautiful, quiet space in the foothills, it was just really awe-inspiring. And the spark was there. And then when I got home, I literally purged my office, rearranged everything, took harmonium lessons, started playing the sound bowls, and kind of really dove deep on myself. And then after the new year, really started to dig into this book, which had been in the back of my mind, but I needed to do my own work first before I started to really develop it, and went from there.
That's amazing. I love that. And so can you provide a brief overview of your book's themes without spoiling it, because people will get it, but kind of what are the general themes that the book covers?
Well, the book and the journal itself is all about reflecting within, right? So looking at yourself, and sometimes our self-critics are so harsh. So it's not necessarily about that. It's really about discovering maybe some things either you didn't know about yourself or you forgot. So the journal is really, we're going to touch on things like gratitude, right? We all talk about gratitude and practicing gratitude every day, but sometimes it just gets lost in the mix like everything else. So there's 5 different sections of the book, from gratitude to awareness and more. But really, it's about diving a little deeper on yourself at your own pace, right? So the book it has a flow. The questions. So essentially, it's an inspirational journal with photography, with imagery that I've taken throughout the world, and it's aligned with quotes from people like greats like Marcus Aurelius and Mother Teresa and Eleanor Roosevelt, Buddha, Rumi, all those folks and more. There's a ton of quotes in there, but those quotes are aligned with the photos, right? So there's some symmetry there. They're aligned with the photos. And then with those two, you are then prompted. So it's all about it's somewhat cerebral and making you think, and really kind of maybe even taking you out of your headspace a little bit before you're asked the question, right? So you get that beautiful image and you see that, and think about what that sparks in you when you see the image, look at the quote, and then the question. So that's really the flow. And it could be you do 1 or 2 pages, or you do a whole section. You do one section before another. So maybe gratitude is closer to the end, but maybe you want to move through compassion, which is more towards the middle. So, it's really a journey that you take on your own at your own pace. And do it go through it as quickly as you want, or do it, come back to it, reflect on it again and again. I don't know all the people who journal out there. It could be for 2 minutes or 2 hours. Everybody's different. So it's just making that time for you and self-discovery through reflection of yourself.
That sounds fantastic. Now, I want to just back up here a second, because not only did you put this book together and create the book, but you also took all the photographs in it.
Yes, every photo in the book and the back cover. The front cover I did not take, but I wanted to recreate it, but it was time-wise, too short. But yeah, every photograph in the book is taken by me.
Wow.
And so it's pretty, and it's over the course of, I want to say the oldest photo in there maybe goes back to 2008, because you know, we have to think about the time now, right, with high quality images. And so some of the photos I wanted to use just weren't high quality enough. Some of those that went back to the 90s and early 2000s. So you know, because I did travel back then, but I'm actually getting ready to go to Italy, so you'll be seeing some things on from that trip on my social media as well.
Amazing. You are just an artistic powerhouse. I love it. I love
I'm
it.
I'm trying. That's the one thing I have to say I love is just the creative process in general. It's my favorite part. You know, I have another business where I help people with their businesses from the ground up from an online presence perspective. And so one of my favorite things is really helping them build a website or, you know, look at their presence, look at their brand and really be strategic about their business. So I think the creative process is really where I love to live, and the images as well, you know, and always looking for something new and creative. I am pretty much drawn to scenery. I'm very drawn to scenery in general. So you'll see a lot of that, but there's a lot of other things in there too.
It's amazing. And so were there any unexpected surprises or moments of inspiration that occurred while you were writing the book?
Actually, I mean, yes, I'm constantly inspired by everything, people in my life. I have so many amazing, I gotta say, in the last few months, I've done some major networking, and I have all these amazing and supportive women in my life. And obviously my family and my friends and, you know, my husband and, you know, parents, all of that, everyone is super supportive, but having that additional community, I think has been part of it. But, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
The surprises or moments of unexpected
Well,
surprises.
and so I think, you know, we're inspired by the people, our surroundings. You know, a lot of times books, you know, you'll see all of these writers and poets and spiritual leaders throughout the book. But I actually did the romantic writer thing. A friend of mine has a cabin in Lake George. And so she was kind enough to let me go up and I took my dog and we went up to the cabin. And I was still kind of trying to figure out the structure for the book. And that's actually kind of where, and I surrounded myself, I think maybe through osmosis, I was hoping I would, like, you know, capture some things from the books that I surrounded myself in, like my old journals and other journals and books that I'm inspired by. And I came up with the section format. So the just kind of breaking self-reflection out into different components. You know, I think the gratitude side, I think is, you know, I mentioned that before, but I think that can be not an easy go-to, but it's something that people talk about a lot, but maybe not so much with awareness or compassion, you know. So thinking about those things that, you know, sometimes get slip through the cracks, and just kind of coming up with a structure. I hadn't planned on that. I was just going to have a book of images and quotes and with pictures. And then when the structure came into play, it was a really nice, happy surprise and epiphany. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And so what messages do you hope the readers take away from working with your book, from reading through your journal?
I mean, I think journaling is so intimate. It is so different for everyone. And, you know, sometimes it can also be overwhelming. I feel like sometimes you're like, I need to journal. I had this long day, or I have all these things to say. And there's so many emotions that go into it. I think it's really just about connecting with it in a way that works for you. So, you know, if you're struggling with something in particular, or you want, like, for instance, I mentioned journals that inspired me. So the 5-minute journal, there was a few years ago, I had lost my connection with journaling, and I just needed something to sort of ease my way back into it. And the 5-minute journal was great. You know, it's simple, 5 questions a day, 5 minutes. You know, so there's that nice, easy structure there. And so that was one of the, I would say, inspirations for this as well, was just kind of keeping it short and sweet, but also allowing the space for people to expand. So, you know, each chapter has additional pages at the end of it. And the journal at the end has a bunch of additional pages in it as well. So I think the flexibility, you know, that you can make the journal work for you in a way that works best for you. And so as far as what I want people to take away, my hope is that maybe they discover something either new about themselves, or they rediscover something that they had forgotten, whether it's a passion, right? Like maybe you forgot you love knitting, like you did knitting ages ago, and you're like, man, I really miss that. I really want to get back into that. How do I do that? Or, music, right? So that's a great example. So I was a musician growing up as a kid. I played violin, piano, I sang, which I think is where a lot of this comes from as well. It kind of, it transforms into other things. And so I had sort of lost my connection to music and was really bummed about it. I was singing with a local choir and loved it. It just timing wise didn't work out. But when I went to India, I was exposed to harmonium, which is, I'm not sure if anyone knows what that is. It looks like a little small organ, but it's something that's using kirtans, for singing and chanting. And then the sound bowls, which I also got sound bowls while I was in India. So I think connecting with something that you love and you're passionate about in a different way. If somebody had told me a year ago that I would go buy a harmonium and have sound bowls, I'd have been like, maybe, I don't know. Am I really feeling that? But I think, discovering new things about yourself or rediscovering things that you had forgotten long past, and just reconnecting with them, without, and the other thing about journaling too is sometimes it tends to be like, what did I do wrong today? Or what can I do better? Instead of, what did I do amazing today? What am I grateful for? Yeah, I know that maybe I need to work on some of these things, but look how far I've come. I have a postcard that sits on my desk every day to remind me, no matter how the self-criticism, always slides in here and there, but look how far I've come. And I don't always remember everything, but, it's just a reminder. And I think part of this can be that for people, is my hope is just let it be what you need it to be in that time and that space for you, and take your time and sit with it, see how you feel.
Love it. That's, yeah. You just got me thinking about the things that maybe I had let go of or needed to rekindle. It's so true. It's so true. And so now, Sarah, is this going to lead into more books, or what do you have coming up? What's in the future for you?
Yes, actually, I have 2 more already planned, 2 more journals with different themes already planned. Release date on those is still TBD, but for this journal, I'm actually working on a desktop calendar. I had done something similar for some friends a few years back after our yoga teacher training, as just a loving gift for them. We were all still very close, and I had done something similar where I took my photography and put quotes from one of the masters that we had learned from Bijan during our, who also writes from A Course of Miracles, which is another inspiration for some of the stuff that I've done here. But that is hopefully going to be ready and available in a month. I'm trying to get it out for 2024. It's just the logistical side of it. The actual calendar itself is about done. It's just about visit my website to look for updates and look on social media for that. And then I'm also a big fan of angel cards and oracle cards from an inspirational standpoint. I use them in all of my yoga classes. So I also teach yoga and meditation. And I use them in my yoga classes every time I teach. Have been since I started teaching over 5 years ago. So it's really a part of who I am, and it's something I'm going to develop as well in early 2024 for this journal. Amazing. As an accompaniment for the journal. And then next Monday night, I'm doing an Instagram live with some other authors that are also launching their books right now. Mm-hmm. And it's really just kind of an authors roundtable. We're not in the same space. Some of us are in the wellness space. Right now, there's 3 of us. 2 of us are in the wellness space. 1 is in fashion. And so, it's really just about having a chat about what inspired us to write our books, because I think so many people have these amazing messages to bring, and we all get caught up in what's involved in doing it and forget that it's so important to share those messages with people. So I think, just letting people know about the journey and that anyone can do it is what we want to do, and also just talk about our books and go from there. And there's going to be some more events. I'm still working on them. I'm actually getting ready to travel and next Friday, and I'll be gone for a little while, but hopefully more events to come in early November.
Wonderful. So Your book reflections, your journal reflections is out now in ebook on Amazon. It'll be out in 2 weeks in paperback, correct?
No, it's supposed to be out next Tuesday, 10
Oh,
10.
next Tuesday.
Yeah, so next Tuesday.
Oh,
And,
that's so exciting.
and if anyone is into numerology, which I'm slowly getting into it, especially after visiting India and being exposed to the Vedic culture and Indian culture there, the book is 123 pages on purpose. The book is coming out on 10/10, which was not on purpose. It was originally supposed to come out today. We pushed it a week, and when I saw 10/10, I just lit up. I just loved that it was coming out then. But right now it's on ebook. It's on sale, and essentially until the physical hardback comes out next week. And I'm excited. Hopefully by Monday I'll have a better feel for timing on when the physical paperback will be available. And I know we're still working on that, or hardback, I should say. But yeah, it's coming, and it's going to be on Amazon. Correct me if I'm wrong. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Target, Walmart, and then I don't know where. Like, I don't know if it's going to be also available in 13 countries like the ebook or not. But it's going to be available for people wherever they want. And then also, I will also be selling the books on my website too.
Amazing. Do you want to let people know your website, just for our listeners that might not know it?
Absolutely. So my website is secondlifecareers.com. So it's just all spelled out, Second Life Careers. And right now that particular page is Reflections Journal, but you'll see something that says books on the top, and it'll take you there.
Amazing. Well, congratulations, Sarah. I am so happy for you. And I really appreciate you taking time to come and chat with me today.
Thank you so much, Angela. I appreciate you as well. And everybody have a fantastic day. Thank you so much.
Bye.